What's up, everybody? It's KBR Sports, the best sports talk show, your 24-hour day, back from the break. Remember, you all can follow and subscribe to the KBR podcast, or KBR Sports podcast, by going on Rabble TV, Spreaker, YouTube, iTunes, and SoundCloud. You can also follow the KBR Sports Twitter page on by following the _KBR _sports, where we tweet the live links and show topics prior to every single show. Also, you can call in at 571-991-0566 to give your sports topics and opinions on whatever we may be discussing or what you want to hear us discuss in the future. So, Nigel, before we went to the break in the last segment, and while we were talking about it, before we broached our Kevin Durant and LeBron James topic, you mentioned the maple bacon donut that you love so much from Duck Donuts. So, if you had to pick a favorite donut from each donut place you've been to, what would they be?
Same thing for what's it called?
For Duck Donuts?
I already said the two places, really. Krispy Kreme and what's it called?
You mean the Sugar Shack?
Yeah, but I only had like one.
Really?
Yeah.
What about...
No, I had two. It was nasty, though.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was something else. You know when you buy something, you think it's going to be one thing, and it's another thing, and when you bite into something, you expect it to be something, and it's like, oh, this is not what I expected.
What?
Yeah.
What? That's terrible.
Yeah. So it wasn't bad. It was just not what I was expecting, so it wasn't good.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
That's depressing.
I can't think of anything else. Where have I been? Paul's Bakery. That's in Fredericksburg. That's actually a good question. Their Oreo one is probably the best donut there.
Really?
Yeah. That's probably the only place I've been.
This dude brought me some donuts from a place. It's like near Maryland. And I can't remember, but they were Nigel. These donuts, like they're like from like a one of those legit bakery places. It was like a cookie dough donut.
Oh really?
One of the best donuts I've ever had.
Really?
I was like, how do people not think of this more often?
Is it better than a Krispy Kreme glazed donut?
Krispy Kreme glazed donut is honestly one of the most powerful donuts in American history.
Yeah, that's in your opinion though.
Yeah.
You know, just saying.
I see you don't agree.
I mean, it's a good donut. Don't get me wrong, but it's okay.
You don't think Krispy Kreme donut is one of the most powerful donuts in American history?
It's okay.
That donut is powerful, Nigel.
Okay.
Think about it.
It's okay.
One of those donuts with the hot sign on.
It's okay.
OMG.
It's okay.
Nigel.
Are you a teenage girl? Like, what is this OMG? Like,
OMG. It's great.
I feel like I'm in a 2012 movie or something.
2012 movie?
Come on.
Why gotta be 2012?
That's what I don't remember.
Well, what teenage girl movie came out in 2012?
I don't know, but I don't think of it as 2017 language.
Not people say OMG all the time.
Do they?
I mean,
I don't hear it.
You don't? Not the you
not not OMG anymore.
What do you hear?
Yeah,
now?
just different texting than it is in person. Just saying.
What?
I mean, I say stuff in text and I don't say it in real life.
That's
LOL, that's so funny. Hey,
I did that once to my mom and she just looked at me.
I look at you too.
When we do the show together, I thought you would look at me.
I mean, I do sometimes. Not all the time, man.
I would have to say, from Sugar Shack, I haven't been to Sugar Shack.
You haven't been to Sugar Shack?
No, I've never been to Sugar Shack. Rashad did bring me a Sugar Shack donut, but it wasn't fresh. It was like, time had passed and he just kind of held it onto it for me, so it wasn't fresh. But it was a good donut. I think it was glazed. It was okay. I don't like it better than Krispy Kreme.
More importantly, has the donut overtaken the cookie?
Has the donut overtaken the cookie? Depends on the cookie.
Nah, not to me.
It depends on the cookie.
Donut's overtaken it to me.
You said it hasn't?
It has.
It has?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I go into a store and I'm like, why would I buy a cookie when I can buy a donut? It's better.
I don't know. I don't think that.
It just tastes better.
I never, when I go into 7-Eleven, you know how they have at the front counter, they have those little cookies in the little wrappers for $1?
I'd rather buy a donut.
I always buy the cookies. I don't ever buy the donuts.
You get 3, don't you?
Yeah, you get like...
Yeah, you get 3. Yeah. But, I mean, if you say you can have a donut for $1.50, 3 donuts for $1.50, I'm like, I'm on it.
Man, that's a compelling question.
It is. Take some time to think on that.
We need to make a poll on that.
Hop on the next topic.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So, we're going to jump into it. How bad of a look would it be if the Golden State Warriors dominate the Cleveland Cavaliers throughout this NBA Finals? Right now, Golden State already has the biggest point differential of any team in NBA playoff history. They are currently sitting at 13-0. throughout the whole playoffs. They swept every single round. Nigel, how bad would it be for the NBA if Golden State ends up dominating Cleveland?
Okay, I wish I had brought this on because I'd rather hear your opinion because you love the Golden State Warriors.
I do.
You're like your second favorite team.
No.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
They put on for the Pacific.
Absolutely second favorite team. But, do I think it's a problem? I don't think if it was like a 1-year thing, I'd be like, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. The problem is not a 1-year thing. It's like it's going to be a minimum 3-year thing. Let's Klay Thompson's contract.
Klay Thompson's contract ends in about 2 years.
2 years. It's gonna be 2 more years. So it'll be a 3-year problem. It's not like Miami, where Miami was at least compelling to watch, in the sense that they didn't just run through their playoff competition. They beat their playoff competition, but they didn't run through it. They had compelling series each year, multiple compelling series each year. That's not gonna happen in Golden State. Even if they dominate the Cavs, let's say they go 5. Being generous here, they go 5. They would have played. They would have gone 16-1. Their biggest competition would have probably been the Spurs if they had stayed healthy, which probably would have been also a 5-game series at best, 5-6 at best. It's like, I mean, you can't keep viewers watching if they're just gonna blow out each team they play every single year. And it's not like the team's gonna get worse.
I
love this.
For a different reason. The main reason why I love this is because this, for one, will get the NBA to finally do something I know they installed the super max contracts to help players, because it's a lot of money that players will be turning down. If you make an all-NBA team, essentially, a team can offer you a $200 plus contract. But this is what
that's the only good thing about this.
Yeah, the reason why I'm happy about this is because it's putting in a system where players are going to want to stay with their teams more. I do need to do more research on the Supermaxes. I want to know how much the Supermaxes count against the cap for whatever team offers the player that Supermax, though. Does it count as a regular max contract, or does it count as a Supermax? So that means it hinders the team's ability to go out and sign other players anyway. So,
well, you would get around that by signing the other players first and then signing the player.
Why?
Because you can go over the cap to sign them. You have the bird rights.
Okay, let's say in the case of Anthony Davis, right? What incentive would Anthony Davis have to stay with the team he's at? Because they don't have anybody except for DeMarcus Cousins. You can't retain DeMarcus Cousins.
Well, he can't go anywhere anyway.
DeMarcus?
No.
Then he has 1 year.
Anthony Davis is talking about.
No, I'm just saying when Anthony Davis' contract expires, if they don't, let's just say they didn't bring anybody in, right?
Oh, they have no interest. They have no leverage to keep him there. But
that's the thing. It's like Paul George. What is the leverage to bring? What is Paul George's incentive to sign the Supermax, other than the dumbfounding money, which is a lot of money that a lot of guys wouldn't want to pass up on.
Exactly that.
What is really the leverage that the team has?
I have no problem with that. I mean, that's just team. If you make bad decisions, you made bad decisions. Well, you make bad decisions.
Because some teams, it's harder for guys to attract guys.
It is.
To go play there.
It is, but you have draft picks.
You do, but let's say you're a middle of the pack team. Your player is good enough that he's going to make you a playoff team. But as a playoff team, you're not going to get a good enough draft pick where you're going to get a transcendent player that's going to change the
Spurs and the Warriors wondering what are you talking about.
Yeah, but come on now. We all know that. But those are anomalies.
Those would be the argument, though.
Those are. But okay, what about the other 28 teams?
You can go through and pick out teams that have Magic have late picks that worked out.
You said the Magic?
Yeah. The problem with the Magic is their top picks haven't worked out.
See, and that's what I'm saying. It's so much of a nick and grab kind of thing that you just don't know how it works out. So players, if you run into another, because there are going to be guys that are going to take the money. The Supermax is going to incentivize guys that want to take the money. That, hey, I get that extra year on my contract. I'm gonna get paid over $30 million for the extra year. But then you might have Kevin Durant guys that are like, hey, I make this an endorsement, but while it's still a lot of money you're giving up.
The problem is you fix that problem because this year Steph's gonna take a Supermax. Durant's gonna take a Supermax. He's gonna get a contract 120%.
Well, he said he's willing to take a pay cut.
But I mean, how much is a pay cut?
They said if he takes a $4 million pay cut, it all works out.
Yeah, it works out.
If he just takes a $4 million pay cut,
that's not the problem. The problem is in 2 years we have to play Clay, and then year after that you have to pay Draymond. How are you gonna? Are you willing to pay $200 million to Steph, $200 million to Kevin, $200 million to Clay, $200 million to Draymond?
It all depends on what the general manager
if they're willing to pay,
You don't want to make another OKC mistake.
That's not an OKC, man. That's a ton of money.
That's a ton of money.
That's 4 players.
OKC's mistake was glaringly stupid. It was glaringly stupid. This it would be. I mean, you have a dynasty. How badly you want to win championships? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, potentially dynasty. But if like I say, is a dynasty. What is your willingness to want to, like, how badly you want to win, essentially? You're willing to spend the money. If let's say Golden State wins this year, this could be an issue that the Cleveland Cavaliers could face. Yeah. If you end up having a situation where LeBron's like, okay, you got to retool up now. But then Dan Gilbert's like, dude, I'm spending this much over the cap already.
He already said he's willing to.
He said he's willing to? Mm-hmm. I just don't know how long you want to keep paying that luxury tax. Like,
Dan Gilbert said he will pay whatever it takes to win a championship.
Shoot, then why was it such an issue for, like, to bring in certain players during that?
Because it's not the matter of going to luxury tax to pay them. It's paying people what they're worth. If you don't think Tristan Thompson is worth $84 million, we're gonna pay him $84 million. Because you can doesn't mean you should.
You ended up doing it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, ended up paying it, but I mean, you know, if you want to talk him down a little bit, I mean, you do that.
It's like one of those things that I think that's the main reason why I think this Golden State thing is a good thing. Because now it's made a system where guys are going to say, okay, I got so much money, I can't just give up. But here's the one convoluted problem with that. Why would guys want to stay there? They're like, I'm not going to win here. Some guys actually prioritize winning over getting their money. Some guys think I can just make this back up and endorsement money. A regular person like us, we might be like, man, that's so much money. Like, why would you want to?
I understand why you would do it. I understand Kevin Durant's motive.
But it's like a guy like Paul George. Look, I know I'm not going to win it with the Pacers.
The problem with Paul George is he's not going to win the Pacers, but he's going to go to the Lakers.
No, that doesn't really make any sense at all. But let's just say that he's a guy that's like, okay, I can't win in here. I know the Clippers need a small forward. I'd be the missing piece,
but they can't pay him. Like, see, but you're not getting the point that the Supermax doesn't just affect the guy who's gonna get paid. They have to pay people already. They have to give Blake Griffin $200 million. That's what the point is of the Supermax, is to eat up the cap that you would have had before for the other players. Is now your star players taking up so much more of your cap. It's harder to go out and get another guy of that kind of money. So, like this year, let's say Chris Paul does go. They're gonna have to. The Spurs are gonna have to gut their team.
Yeah.
To bring him, because he's gonna cost $30-some-odd million.
Yeah.
And so even if you get, so you say, okay, well now the Clippers have so much space. They don't have space to get. They still have space to sign him, because Blake Griffin's gonna command so much money. They still don't have space to sign Paul George. Off the top of my head, I don't know if this is 100% true, but I'm gonna speculate that they don't have the cap space to sign him. So it's like Kyle Lowry, the same thing. It's not the fact that he's getting a max contract. He's getting $30 million. Serge Ibaka's going to get 18, probably. It's just like that's a ton of money to be paying out. So that's going to curb people from just jumping to a team. You're going to say, well, we're not going to take the max. Well, okay, you're going to be giving up a ton of money if you don't take the max.
And here's another result of this that I think is a good result, because I think this also results in a thing where we don't put so much pressure on guys to win. Like, it's like your career is a failure if you didn't win a championship.
What is this?
Like that, because Charles Barkley even said in a recent interview, if I knew that, I would have just left whatever team I was on and just went and played with whoever and won a ring just to get rings. Because if I knew I was going to be judged on the fact that, oh, I don't have this ring, I don't got that ring, I would have just left whatever team I was playing for and went and got rings.
It was different back then.
It was, free agency was different back
then.
I'm
talking about the way you're perceived.
But he said if he would have known that, like, now how we do things now, then he would have just left and went to whatever team.
At the time, it wasn't.
At the time it wasn't seen that way. It was literally seen as how impactful. I think it was seen more so as how impactful of a player you were, rather than the accomplishments you had. But I think now it might be like we might start. I don't know. We've already kind of gone down this road, so I don't know. I don't know how you really turn back.
Go back to being about more impact. Simple as that. It wasn't. Jordan was. I sent you the article. Jordan was considered arguably the greatest player of all time when he had 3 rings. It's like nowadays, if you don't have 4 or 5, it's blasphemy that you're considering him the greatest of all time. If he doesn't go 6 for 6, he can't be the greatest of all time. If he doesn't match Jordan, he can't be the greatest of all time. Now it's just rings. You can go back to just being impactful on the court. It doesn't have to be.
But I think Jordan getting the 6 rings is what solidified him, because Jordan wasn't definitively, like, I think they were more so talking about Jordan in the context of he's the greatest player currently playing in
No.
the game. But
I sent you the article. I sent you one article that did say arguably in
that's
the
what
game.
I'm saying. But it wasn't widespread. Jordan is the greatest. How it is now. That's what I'm saying. How it is now. It's definitive.
I can
and
go
nobody.
get you articles.
Most people. No, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't definitive.
now.
Like you will find people that would say Jordan's not the greatest back then.
You can still find it.
And then some people believe Magic was. But when Jordan got 6, everybody was like, all right, this dude is next level.
You still find
when he
people
had
believe
3,
that.
that's what I'm saying. You'll find people. That's why you'll find people that say LeBron's better than him now. But I'm saying the widespread belief is that MJ is the best right now. That's the widespread belief. And the widespread belief back then was that Magic was the greatest basketball player anybody had ever seen. Magic and Kareem.
Once he won 3, a bunch of articles came out saying he was arguably the greatest player.
The same thing with LeBron James. I'm not disputing that point you're saying. I'm just saying widespread. When you say who's the best player in basketball, most people say Michael Jordan. Back then, most people said Magic or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That was most of what they said back then. I'm not disputing what you're saying. I'm just saying that is what the overwhelming consensus was. But in terms of this Kevin Durant thing, I think now it will change the narrative a lot of times of, okay, how far are we willing to, are we going to chastise guys for leaving their teams to go win a ring? Because we're saying rings all that matter. We're saying that in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter as the passage of time goes on. We count the rings, and if they don't have the rings, we don't care. If they have the rings, oh, you're propped up in our eyes regardless of how you won them or what you did to win them. So I just think guys want you to be a factor on the team that wins a ring. I mean, I guess Adam Silver will have to look into it more so.
Well, Adam Silver said there's no problem with the league. Can't believe that people think it's only 2 teams that have a chance to win the championship.
Because, I mean, his point did make sense, though. It did, because he says each team, all these teams have a chance, like, these are all the best players in the world. On each and every team, like the NBA is constructed of all the best players in the world. Mm-hmm. Obviously, some players are better than others, and he's saying that he can't understand how general managers aren't able to develop some of their top tier draft picks and players that they select in the draft to become these star talented players. Coming out the draft, they're projected to be these kind of guys, and he's not understanding why these guys aren't being developed into becoming those kind of guys. Or when you have situations where you got gems like Isaiah Thomas. You got situations where you got guys like who else is like a Draymond. He's saying Golden State found these guys in the Golden State isn't built of guys that in their draft classes were seen as the best guy in their draft class. They're built as guys. These are all surprises. Golden State's a surprise team aside from Kevin Durant. Nobody thought Draymond was going to be who he was. Nobody thought Klay was going to be who he was.
Yeah, they did. Klay was absolutely
no. They thought Klay would be. Nobody thought he was going to be this great of a defender.
Not this great of a defender.
Nobody thought Klay was going to be.
He was drafted for his jump shot.
Yeah, and I'm saying there's a difference between being just a spot up shooter and being what Klay Thompson
Absolutely.
is. Klay Thompson can take you off the dribble. He can post up. Klay Thompson is a way better player than people projecting him being. Steph Curry is a way better player. Nobody saw a 2-time MVP. Nobody saw him winning a championship with the kind of guy he was. They thought he was too frail, too small, all that. So Golden State is just a team full of surprises. So he's saying if they can compile a super team of surprises,
what did you say earlier?
Oklahoma City had that once upon a time. They mismanaged it. They lost it. So he's saying that if we're really saying super teams, there have been other teams that had super teams, but they mismanaged the team that they had, or they missed out on their certain window. The Clippers were regarded as a super team at some point in time. They missed their window.
They missed their window. They never had a champion. They were never. You keep saying that this team was a type of thing. It was never.
It was.
It wasn't though.
It was.
We're not gonna get in an argument because that's going to derail everything. Okay. First of all, using Isaiah Thomas and Draymond Green again, like you just said, I'm gonna take what you said. It was an anomaly.
Yeah.
You saying that. Oh well, they're projected to be this. Look, I'm projected to make this much amount of money. Some stuff happens that I don't make it. It's not that the projection was wrong. Or it could be the projection wrong. It could be my math was wrong. It could be I saw something wrong in making the projection. But using the draft as, well, he's projected to be this, so he should be this. How many draft prospects actually work out the way they're supposed to? How many times has the draft gone and the best player who's supposed to be the best player in the draft is actually the best player in the draft?
Sorry, I'm typing stuff. Go ahead.
It's just draft's a crapshoot. Everybody knows
that. Draft is a crapshoot, but he's saying that you're most likely the way the NBA draft's supposed to work. The transcendent talent's supposed to be at the top of every draft.
Absolutely.
The bottom teams are not supposed to stay at the bottom with the way the draft is working out. But it just so happens it's been that way over the past few years. But a team like the 76ers is supposed to, like, when LeBron came in, there's only so few LeBrons in the league. I get
Absolutely.
that. But when LeBron came in, when Kevin Durant came in, when Steph comes in, when Chris Paul comes in, when Derrick Rose comes in, when these different kind of guys come in, they're supposed to be good enough that they uplift their team in terms of wins. Then the general managers surround those guys with talent to make those teams better, so those teams get out of the crapshoot of where they are. Then the other sucky teams come in and take that draft talent, so every team has a top tier star on its team, and then it's on that general manager to surround that team with talent, whether through the draft or whether through free agency. It's on that general manager, but that's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to work. And the teams that compile stars. The teams that compile stars aren't supposed to have enough cap space. And Golden State is literally the way Golden State was able to get Kevin Durant. It was a perfect mesh of circumstances. And that's why Adam Silver is saying there's no problem because the Golden State Warriors are something that most likely will probably never ever happen again in NBA history, where a team can get 2 MVPs on one team in their prime and still retain 4 All-Stars.
It's not a new thing that the super teams have happened. I mean, the 80s and 90s. What was it?
What do you mean?
What teams dominated the 80s and 90s?
The Lakers, Celtics, Bulls.
Let me say 70s, 80s. 70s to 80s.
Sixers.
No. 70s to 80s.
70s, 80s?
Yeah.
Lakers. The Sixers.
Lakers, Celtics pretty much. Dominated.
The Sixers were in there too.
They won 2 championships, yeah.
Yeah.
So you had 3 teams win championships that year.
Sixers actually were arguably a super team where Moses Malone left. After he lost, I believe Moses Malone left and went and signed with the Sixers to play with Dr. J and I can't remember. I can't remember the other person. Who was it? Maurice Cheeks, was it? I can't remember, but Moses Malone essentially left, and they went and formed a super team in Philadelphia. Came back and destroyed the Lakers, I believe. I think they swept them when they came back. Yeah.
But so you had 3 teams win there. Then you had the Bulls right after that. And then you had a stretch where you had the Lakers, actually just the Lakers and Spurs, win championships in the 2000s. And then the most parity has been the most recent couple of years. You had the Lakers, the Heat, the Dallas Mavericks, the Spurs, Golden State Warriors winning championship in the last 7 years. It's been great. Outside of that stretch, though, it's been dominated by mostly 3 teams. At most 3 teams in a decade.
That's what I'm saying. So is it? So Adam Silver's point isn't really null then when he's saying there's no parity. So
it's not null, but the fact that it's supposed to work.
You gotta get the last point in.
Okay, the fact that it's supposed to work a certain way, it's not working a certain way, is the problem. It's worked now for, like I said, these last 5 to 7 years or so. It's worked, but before that, small. You that works on the basis that every team is the same. That every team can attract 8 free agents. Every team can bring in is going to draft perfectly and bring in free agents. Small markets are going to do what big markets can do. That doesn't work that way. Free agents want to go to Cleveland. They had to go overpay for Larry Hughes, who's awful. The Magic aren't going to sign this big time free agent. The Nets aren't going to sign a big time free agent anytime soon. The Pacers' biggest problem, they couldn't sign a big time. They had to pay for Jeff Teague and Al Jefferson. That's their 2 big free agent signings. The Hawks aren't going to sign a big time free agent. They had to get a declining Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard didn't go there in his prime. Not his prime, but when he had a chance to go there, he didn't go there. He was a perfect fit for them. So small markets just don't get players like that. So putting on the basis that, well, they should just go out and sign a free agent, it doesn't work.
All right, y'all. We'll move on from that conversation and transition to our speed round. Stay tuned to find out the different topics we're going to hit with light speed. Stay tuned. It's KBR Sports. Wait about 20 to 30 seconds after this link ends and join back in on the live stream after you refresh the page, and we'll be right back for you guys to enjoy. It's KBR Sports.